I loved that this was a Spider-Man movie. I think that arguably this is the first of the Tom Holland movies that is a pure Spider-Man movie.
And it was not good whatsoever. Like it kind of felt lazy, unaspiring. They're basically hinting that he's going to return, but obviously he's going to return, right? It's freaking Spider-Man. It did over $900 million worldwide, right? Like you said, it's like the highest grossing ever opening weekend.
When I think of what do I want from a superhero movie, it's this, and I don't really know what more I want.
Yeah, if you think about it, it's a missed opportunity. You have a clean slate, introduce those people because the other characters kind of took a back seat for a lot of the film.
Welcome to Hate to See It with Mike and Sid, the talk show where we bring you a new movie review each week. I'm Mike.
Sid.
We're a small channel, so you'd really help us out by hitting the like button, subscribing to our channel, and dropping a comment with your feedback. Also, we encourage you to take advantage of the chapters feature. If you want to find out right away what we think of this week's movie, Spider-Man Brand New Day, you can skip right to our verdict near the end of the episode. With that out of the way, Sid, how's it going?
Wait, sorry, can I hear what?
You can't hear me?
1 second, Mike. Oh, shoot. I had these earplugs. So after our not Oppenheimer, Odyssey review, we got sponsored by some earplug company. So I just went, I rewatched the Odyssey, and I forgot to take out the earplugs.
Why would they send them to you, not me?
It's a good question. They couldn't find you. They couldn't find your address. And they said, we know Mike or doesn't like it. Why don't you give it a shot, see if it improves your experience? I'm like, it's a perfect 5 out of 5. They're like, just try it. They're like, Mike is difficult. So I tried it, and it's still a 5 out of 5. Happy to report back.
I mean, theoretically, it should be like a 6 or 7 out of 5 now, right?
Oh yeah, if you're going by the Dave Meltzer Tokyo Dome review. Good
Yeah.
point. But I'm doing well, Mike. I'm glad we have this new sponsor from Yunnan headquarters in China. I don't know if that's a good thing or not that China is sponsoring our podcast now.
Yeah, maybe not.
So how are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah.
That's why I yelled, "I'm Sid" earlier.
I
And,
I
and
I got that. Yeah. Yeah, it did not go over my head.
all righty. So that's another big episode.
Yeah, biggest movie of the year in terms of opening weekend box office. I mean, biggest of all time. It broke Endgame's record.
It sure did.
Unbelievable. It's already over $900 million. It's ahead of what Odyssey has done in its first 3 weeks. It just in
Which
one.
is no surprise though.
I think it's a surprise. $927 million in one weekend? That's crazy.
No, it is crazy, but no surprise it's bested the Odyssey.
I think I mean, that amount of money is insane. I don't
It
know.
is. It is insane, but we'll talk about it a little later, I'm
Yeah.
sure. So let's go
Um,
right into it, Mike. What's our first segment of the
yeah.
week?
Yeah, why don't we get right into it with cast question?
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's 2-1 us, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong, but you and I are going to face cast another round of questions.
Yeah, it's our weekly trivia segment where our friend Cast from Throwbacks to the Technodrome asked us a trivia question, and we are trying to work together to figure it out. And Cast is trying to stump us. And
That's right.
every week he asks us a question that is somehow related to the movie that we're reviewing.
What's up, everybody? You know what time it is. It's time for Cast Question. In which comic did Spider Man make his first appearance? Is it A, Marvel Comics 39, B, The Amazing Spider Man number 1, C, Amazing Fantasy number 15, or D, Spectacular Spider Man number 1?
All right.
What do
Got
you
those participating too. So I know it's not one of the Spider-Man comics.
you don't
So
think it's
that's a
either? You don't think it's either one of those?
no, because I remember hearing about this back in the day. A lot of times, like, I mean, it happened with this movie, right? When they debut characters, they're not necessarily debuting in their film or comic.
So I thought so as well. I was not sure of that, but I thought that as well. So that means we can eliminate answers B and D, and we have to pick
Correct.
between A and C. A
Remind
was
me, yeah, go ahead.
A was Marvel Comics 39. C was Amazing Fantasy 15. Do you have a guess or any kind of inclination?
My guess would be the amazing one.
That would be my guess as well. And I just have not heard of a Marvel Comics series called just Marvel Comics. Like
Me
I
either.
know
I'm sure it exists, but I haven't heard
DC
of it.
has like Detective Comics, I know.
True.
And I just Amazing Fantasy, it kind of rings a bell.
Yeah.
Not sure, but I think that's a good guess. You want to lock
Let's
it
let's
in?
let's lock it in.
Lock in C, Amazing Fantasy 15. Let's see.
And the answer to that question is C. Amazing Fantasy 15 was the first appearance of Spider-Man. And if you didn't know that one, my spider sense is detecting two numbskulls in the area. Back to you guys.
So we got it.
3-1.
Well, Cast, I think you need to get your Spidey sense recalibrated. You might want to put one of those chips on the back of your neck like Peter does in Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Very true. Funny, our Spidey sense was tingling as well. It was warning us that his joke was not gonna land.
And I really liked how we just uh, very in a very logical fashion just eliminated the answers to that
Yeah, it
one
was good.
and arrived at the right answer. So
B Believe it or not, we're a pretty decent team when it comes to answering trivia questions.
yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Cast, and check out Cast Channel Throwbacks with the Technodrome. With that segment out of the way, it is now time for the 60-second setup.
That's right, 60 seconds or less. Let me get my clock in, and here we go. It's a brand new day. Yes, it is. Not only is it a brand new day for Peter Parker, it's also a brand new time for our friend Peter. You know, a lot has changed. It's 4 years after the last film. And like I said, a lot has changed. He no longer has the friends that he had before, the coworkers he had before, the team members. It's all the same thing what I'm saying. But basically what happened was at the end of the last film, everyone that knows Peter Parker no longer remembers him. He has no Avengers to lean on. Like I said, no friends and lovers who remember him, and no Stark technology to be a safety net for him. So Peter is finally back to being the friendly neighborhood spider. He's working a lot, Spider-Man. He's working a lot. All he cares about is work and protecting his friends that no longer remember him. But now a mysterious threat emerges where it's going to potentially put everything out by risk because he has to basically potentially involve his friends again that no longer remember him. So that's it. Fresh start, exciting stuff. And let's see where this takes us. 60 seconds or less.
Nice job, Sid. I think you did do that in under 60 seconds.
Perfect.
So why don't we move on to our next segment? Hate to see it.
The segment where you and I tell our viewers a couple things we did not like about this film. You want to go first, Mike?
Yeah, I'll kick it off. As you said in the 60-second setup, Peter, he doesn't have his friends. He doesn't have Aunt May. He doesn't have the Avengers. He's on his own, and he's suffering a little bit from loneliness, which he seems to be coping with by just throwing himself into his work, saving people, rescuing people in New York City, swinging around, being that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Um, and I get that theme of the movie, but I think there was a little bit of a missed opportunity here. Would have been nice to see a little bit of Peter trying to branch out, maybe making some new friends, maybe exploring some new romantic opportunities. And I'm just going to leave it at that because I'm going to get into that in our What If segment.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, some people would wish they could, like, have their girlfriend forget about them or their wives forget about them so they could do whatever they please.
It's a brand new day, right? Why not take advantage
Yes, it
of it?
is. Yeah, good. Well said. All right, I'll go next. It's kind of lame I'm saying this, but I did dislike it, and who the hell's calling me? But I really hated the post. Is it the post credit scene? Despised it.
I just read about it and I was like, I'm not going to wait. So I just left. I left without even seeing it.
Yeah, and I was always in that position too, Mike. So a lot of times with these big movies, I'll quickly pull up my phone to see if there is like a post-credit scene.
Yeah, me too.
Smart thing to do because you don't want to wait. And it said yes, there's a post-credit scene, and I didn't want to get too spoilery, but I looked quickly and I was like, what? This seems like it's gonna be so like waste of time. And credits are quite long. So I was thinking, all right, maybe I'll just leave. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. It's Thursday night. I'm tired. But at that point, everyone's there. Everyone's waiting. No one's left. I'm like, shoot, if I leave, people are gonna look at me like, wait a second, this guy spent like 2 hours in this movie and now he's leaving? Like he's already committed. So like I was kind of guilted to stay and see what this thing was. and it was not good whatsoever. Like it kind of felt lazy, unaspiring. They're basically hinting that he's going to return, but obviously he's going to return, right? It's freaking Spider-Man. It did over $900 million worldwide, right? Like you said, it's like the highest grossing ever opening weekend. So why wouldn't you give us something different? We know he's going to come back. You're going to milk Spider-Man for as much money as possible. Why not just do it like right after the movie ends? If we're gonna do something so lazy like that, have it earlier. But yeah, I was really tired, exhausted. I watched all the credits just to see this disappointing scene where basically they're showing that Spider-Man is like either in space or another dimension, and then like James Bond, they say Spider-Man will return. So yeah, I was not happy with that.
So, just a reminder, everyone, we do discuss spoilers in the Hate to See It and Love to See It segments. If you want our non-spoiler review, just you can skip right ahead to the verdict and then come back after you've seen the movie. Sid, like I said, I didn't stick around for it because it just didn't seem that interesting to me. But I thought it shows Ned's tracker, right?
Knacker, yep, it does.
But doesn't it show him in space, like outer space?
Yeah, like I was saying, like it shows him. You're not really sure. You think it's space, but also with his multi dimensions, with Doomsday coming out, like it could have been space or it could have been another dimension. I
Right. So
think,
it's basically just a teasing that he's going to be involved in the Avengers movies that
but
are
yeah,
coming out.
potentially, or some sense, yes. That's like but still, like records. I mean, you
So
make
it's
so
just
much.
like obviously, right? Not
It's
a big,
obvious.
yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's really a nothing burger.
nothing burger. Yeah, that kind of pissed me off. And then everyone, I could tell people in the theater were all pissed. Because again, I went to a late showing. Everyone wants to get home. They wait 5 minutes for this damn thing, and everyone was confused. Like no one wanted to get up and leave. Like, wait, there has to be something else, and nothing else happened. But luckily, as soon as like it ended, I just ran out. All right,
Okay,
Mike. Yeah, go ahead.
totally understandable, and then that's exactly why I didn't stick around for it. So yeah, I would agree with you there.
But it's
Um,
promising though, right? Potentially, it's promising for my final score if that's one of my complaints.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'll think the same thing based on my two complaints. My second one is really more a complaint about Daredevil Born Again season two, which this movie is actually set not that long after, and we see in season two, Wilson Fisk is the mayor, the kingpin. He's
Yeah.
got the city under martial law. He's got these kangaroo courts operating, and he's rounding up with his task force all the vigilantes in New York City and prosecuting them. And at the end of the season, spoiler for that, he does get overthrown. They show us the new mayor in this movie very briefly. Spider-Man gets the keys to the city, and I missed it. I don't know if you saw this, but apparently there is a shot of a Wilson Fisk for mayor poster that is torn up. Did you see
No,
this?
really? No, I did
Yeah, a
not.
little Easter egg. So they did, I guess, acknowledge it a little bit, but this New York City does not resemble the New York City that we saw in Daredevil, and it's only supposed to be a few months later. And not only that, did you see the Punisher special, One Last Kill, I think it's called?
Yes, I did.
And
Yep.
that I think is supposed to take place like in between the most recent seasons of Daredevil Born Again.
Yep.
And that's also in New York City, and it depicts a New York City that is overridden by
Yeah.
crime, where people are stealing dogs and
Yes.
murdering them.
Murdering them. Yep. Oh, that
And
was brutal.
that was so brutal. It's like this New York, this is supposed to be a cohesive cinematic universe,
Yeah.
and the New York City that we're seeing in this movie is totally different than the New York City that we see in The Punisher and Daredevil that is supposed to be around the same time. So I would like to see more consistency across properties in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So that's
It's
I hate
like
to see it for me.
it's like almost like it's a brand new day. It went from like disaster to like beautiful New York, the New York that we remember.
They just, I mean, basically totally ignored it.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah. So
Especially for a big organization like Marvel. Be better.
yep. So that's my second hate to see it.
All right. My next one, I'm kind of nitpicking as well. So when they first announced that Sadie Sink was going to be in Brand New Day, obviously speculations were rampant. She's a redhead, right? So a lot
Hmm.
of the theories online was she's going to be Jean Grey.
Or
And
Mary
that's
Jane
what,
Watson.
yeah, potentially Mary Jane Watson. Wait, maybe, but I think it was mostly,
Yeah, it was mostly Jean Grey.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but I completely forgot about that. Good point. Thank you, sir. So yeah, the rumors were she's going to be Jean Grey. But then also, as we're getting the trailers and all that stuff coming up, I was reading a lot of or watching a lot of podcast people like us, like ourselves, talking about the film. Like, is it really going to be Jean Grey? Is it Jean or Jean? Doesn't matter. But they were asking, like, is it really going to be her? Like, that seems really obvious, but maybe they're going to go a different direction. So with all this hype and stuff, I was like, maybe they will go a different direction. Maybe this is like a trick. And I was trying to look up like what could potentially she be. And then with the trailers, obviously you see Spider-Man becoming more of a spider, right? So they're hinting that he's changing throughout this film. So I
Yeah.
look back, and one of the couple of the older comics, there was like this Spider Queen, I think it was. Yeah, Spider Queen. And she has the ability to telekinesis, whatever that is, whatever it's in this movie.
Hmm.
She has the ability to, I guess, control people that have insect DNA. So I was kind of hoping to see that angle. I wanted to see something different. I wanted to see that, not the whole Jean Grey introduction. Though I thought overall it was pretty well done. I think she'll be a great Jean Grey, better than the last person who was from Game of Thrones. So looking forward to it. But yeah, I just let the trailers and all the rumors go rampant, and I was kind of like pumped up to see something else that happened in the comics. And when it didn't happen like that, I was kind of disappointed.
Is that something that was your own theory, or did you see someone
No,
else
no,
that?
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you asking me that clarifying question. It wasn't my own theory. I just started reading more about it and like what she could potentially be, and I saw a couple of podcasts to speak about it.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
yeah, the
I
Spider
think
Queen.
like Sadie Sink, her casting as Jean Grey, it was like the worst kept secret in Hollywood. Like
Yeah.
everyone knew it. But
Yep.
what actually upset me, and I saw this on Twitter like the day before I saw the movie, and it was like an offhand comment. I wasn't sure if it was real. It wasn't presented as a spoiler,
Hmm.
but it was something. It was complaining about, um, and this is a spoiler, Jean Grey being the villain in the movie. I'm like, oh, is she the villain? Which is not that surprising, but I didn't know it. Like, so
Mm.
that was spoiled for me. Like, I went into the movie expecting she was going to be the villain,
Okay.
so that kind of
Uh,
sucked.
and another thing, I don't know if you saw this rumor, but there was a lot of thoughts or a lot of comments that he could potentially die at the end of this film. So I was
I didn't
expecting
see that at all. I was not expecting that. Yeah.
because that's also part of like this whole Spider Queen thing. Because I think
Mhm.
of, and maybe again, I'm not a huge comic guy,
Me
but I
either.
think at some point the Spider Queen kills him and or he dies on purpose. Something happens where he dies and he comes back as a Spider-Man instead of being like the full-fledged spider. So some people were expecting that. So yeah, I had a lot of these expectations because of what the people were saying, and those expectations were not a reality.
Yeah, I mean, even though it was a poorly kept secret, um, it was kind of cool how they didn't hint at it at all in the trailers.
True.
Really, the whole storyline of the movie was not hinted at in the trailers. So, it was, I didn't really know what to expect with this movie other than that Jean Grey would be in it.
Hmm.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, surprisingly, they did a really good job of not spoiling it.
Yep.
All
All
right,
right, I
Mike,
think that's it, right?
that's
Great.
it.
So let's get into our next segment. Love to see it.
The segment where you and I do the exact opposite of before. Let's talk about a couple things that we loved. So kick it off, Mr. Mike.
I loved that this was a Spider-Man movie. I think that arguably this is the first of the Tom Holland movies that is a pure Spider-Man movie. The first two, Homecoming and Far From Home, he is working for Tony Stark. He's working for Nick Fury. He's wearing the Iron Man spider suit. A large portion of Homecoming is in Washington, D.C. Far From Home is in Europe. You know, so we don't see a ton of New York City in those movies. And then No Way Home is just this multiverse movie. It's a great movie, but it's not like a normal Spider-Man. This is more of like a normal Spider-Man story. Spider-Man um, swinging around New York, stopping street crime. He is the main character, focusing on his own personal struggles. Uh, and interesting side characters. They're still bringing in characters from other movies, other TV shows, but they're clearly supporting characters. The suit, he's got the regular suit, which was awesome to see. So it was refreshing. Like it felt like the first time, I guess, since the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies, but I mean, it really felt reminiscent of For me, the Tobey Maguire ones, and also the recent Insomniac Spider-Man video games. It was reminiscent
Mm,
of for me was Peter working directly with the police to stop crimes. You see some of the thugs that he's fighting have those electrified
yes,
batons that they have in the video game. So it's just like uh, it had kind of a video game vibe to it because he's taking missions, taking assignments. So I thought that was cool. It felt like Spider-Man. Love to see it.
truly. Yeah, you can make a good point. I think the director has said he was really inspired from those Insomniac games, which are fantastic.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
So a lot of those battle scenes like definitely felt like one of those Arkham games or those Spider-Man Insomniac games because it's a
Yeah,
similar
where he's
thing with it.
fighting a lot of enemies at the same
Yes,
time. Yeah.
with the special weapons and all that.
Hmm.
Alrighty, so I think this is at the end of the film, but they say, "Are you Peter Parker or are you Spider-Man?"
Yeah.
And he says, "I'm both."
Yeah.
So that was really big because prior to this movie, there's been a lot of questions with the older franchises. Like, who's the best Peter Parker? Who's the best Spider-Man? Right? Two different things. You can say they're two different characters. And I think a lot of people would say, let's see, Andrew Garfield was the better Spider-Man, and then Tobey Maguire was the better Peter Parker. I
Mm.
think that was a general consensus.
I've heard
Um,
that before.
yep. So I think with this film, you got to see like, what's his actor's name? I can't
Tom
believe I don't know.
Holland.
Yeah, you finally got to see Tom Holland like really grow up and develop and be both things like top notch. You saw like the quirkiness of Peter Parker, but you also saw like a lot of like the humor aspects of Peter Parker because Peter Parker, could be pretty funny at times. But you also maybe actually I think I got it reversed. It's Spider-Man that could be funny. So you got to see like the funny quirkiness of Spider-Man. So you did that really good because you need to have that humor, right? It's not like Batman. And then also when it comes to Peter Parker, you got to see the serious stuff, right? A lot of like the tragic stuff that's helped shaped him. And with obviously with Aunt May passing away in the last movie, like it really transformed him. So I think a lot of the events of the prior films have helped him mature and really take ownership of being both Peter Parker and also being both Spider-Man. So I think he is, in my opinion, the definite best when it comes to both roles. What do you think, Mike? You agree?
I no, I think Toby is the best for both. He's still
Oh
my
wow.
favorite. He's my favorite hands down. But Holland is now definitely in second place for live action. He does a very good job in this movie. He's finally, I think, settled into the role. Not like that he was bad in the previous movies, but he felt very comfortable as both Peter and Spider-Man. So yeah, he's doing a good job. I hope he does more
And he
movies.
will.
Yeah.
And you could tell it was on purpose, right? They wanted to show like the last three films helped shape him to become this version of who he's supposed to be. A lot of emotional growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Uh,
right. Yes.
my second love to see it. I'm wondering if this might be yours as well, but let's see. My second love to see it is The Punisher. We knew he was going to be in the movie. He was in the trailers. I was not expecting him to be in the movie this much. He's a major character in this movie, and a big chunk of the movie takes place at his hideout where he's helping protect MJ. It's very interesting to see Spider-Man and Punisher's relationship. I kind of like how it's implied that they know each other just from interacting in New York City. They have stories. Something happened in Staten Island,
Staten Island.
but
I got a good laugh of that.
we never saw them meet before this movie. So I kind of liked how they just it makes sense that they would know each other. So I liked how
Yep.
they handled that. They've got good banter. I kind of like older brother, younger brother vibe to them,
Yep.
maybe. I liked how Punisher translated to a PG-13 movie. I didn't think that was going to work, but it does, and they even use some comedy to censor some of the things he says. And there's a really touching moment at the end of the movie um, between Punisher and Peter when Peter is in mortal peril. I won't spoil that. It's not necessary to, but yeah, they have a great relationship, and he's utilized really well. It's great to see him on the big screen because we had only seen this version of the Punisher on TV before. So I love to see it.
Yeah, that was a huge question mark going into the film, right? Because again, the actor who plays the Punisher really is protective of this character, and really wants control over this character. And then you got two opposites. You got a rated R guy, like you said, and you got a PG-13 guy. So how would they coexist? And would they dumb him down, or would he be the Punisher they were kind of familiar with? And I think he was. So it was really well executed, and I truly agree with you on that, Mike.
Nice.
Yeah, that would be like my third probably, and maybe even the second. But I didn't pick that one necessarily. But again, I agree with you on that. I kind of touched about this, like his emotional growth of Peter Parker. But yeah, this story, I appreciated the emotional story that it told throughout this film. And to be quite honest, there are times like where like I was tearing up. I don't tear up a lot during movies. There's one scene I think he says like maybe it was like my aunt or my uncle. He says no, I think it was like he said just some word aunt, and I didn't cry out loud, but like I kind of did like a voice, like I was like choked up, and I was like, oh, I got so nervous. I was like, are people gonna hear me? But I was like, you know what? Everyone's probably emotional right now. But yeah, this movie definitely emphasized the loneliness, the sacrifice, the resilience that Peter Parker had to go through, Spider-Man had to go through after No Way Home. And there was a big tearjerker. There was so many scenes like I was like tearing up. I felt like I felt like not the strength. I felt the heaviness of a lot of those scenes, specifically towards the end of the film, like during the big climax, when finally, I can say spoiler, yeah, finally Peter Parker allows Jean Grey to get into his head,
Mm.
because before she couldn't do it, right? And maybe it was partly because of Spider-Man, but she was pissed that she couldn't see what was inside his head because she was doing that to a lot of people throughout the film. She goes into Peter's lover's head and she tricks Peter.
Yeah, that was a cool scene.
Yeah, cool scene. So he finally realizes in order to like convince her not to kill the psychiatrist or whatever that person was, the person in charge of the organization, like he had to let her into his head. And then they showed a scene a couple times throughout the film, but the scene I'm talking about is when he's talking to his aunt.
Yeah.
And then it's such a it's a scene with Peter, Aunt May, and also Mike Piazza. So Mike
Mike
Piazza
Piazza, I did see that he was it a jersey on the wall or a poster?
is either a poster or jersey or something on the mall.
Did
So
we know
that
he was a Mets fan? I mean, it makes sense, obviously, but I don't remember there being Mets stuff in the prior movies.
I'd have to look back, but it's nice to see that he supports the good guys. But yeah, it was at that scene where finally Jean Grey's like, okay, like he's also gone through loss, but he's learned from it. He's learned from these lessons and has become a better person, and kind of like a turning point for Jean Grey because she's mourning the loss of his sister that she's trying to find, and it turned that the sister passed away, and then she finally does not kill the guy who I forget the guy, but yeah, it's a big turning point, and especially like the scene you're talking about at the end where Punisher and Spider-Man. Yeah, it was a very touching film, very emotional film.
Yeah, that was a very emotional scene, very key scene in the movie, and that really highlighted the difference between Spider-Man and Punisher. I was not expecting to see Marissa Tomei as Aunt May in this movie.
Me
I'm
either.
glad they brought her back, and it made sense, made perfect sense, and they used her very well. It was a great scene.
Sure, that it'll be interesting seeing if they bring her back in other flashbacks in the future. I hope so. If
Yeah,
done well. All right, Mike. I think that concludes it, right? We both did too.
that's right.
So let's get into our what if.
What if I mentioned I have a couple, well, just one what if, so I'll kick it off if you don't mind.
Go for it.
So yeah, I mentioned in my hate to see it, I would have liked to see a little exploration of Peter trying to make new friends, maybe a little romance, and I have some ideas with that.
Okay.
There's a scene where he pretends to be a student. I forget the name of this fictional university, um, and he goes to see the Hulk. Um,
Yes.
well, Bruce Banner, to try to help him with suppressing these new Spider-Man abilities that he's
Hmm.
getting. He's getting these heightened senses in the movie. I guess his mutation is mutating even further, and it's causing him some problems, giving him headaches and stuff like that. So he goes to see Bruce and to see if he can, get some advice from him on this. I thought they could have introduced Harry Osborn as a student on
Mhm.
campus, and they could have introduced him there, and maybe they could have started to be friends.
Oh,
Because
that'd be good.
I'm waiting for Harry. I'm really hoping they introduce him. And it could have been interesting because this Peter is aware of Norman Osborn from No Way Home, so that might have been interesting if the name clicked and and Peter started doing some research on the Osborns. I think you got to introduce Oscorp into this universe, and it's going to have to be like a tech startup. It can't be like this exact same Oscorp from the other from the other parts of the multiverse. But I was hoping we would get some signs of that, and we didn't get that. And the other thing is, I would like to see a little romance. I think there's a scene in the beginning where he's getting off the elevator in his apartment, and
Mm.
some girl like says, "Hey, we live on the same floor," and like he just kind of ignores her.
Yeah, what the hell? She was
Um,
hot. She was
I
attractive.
think a funny scene could have been if he went on a date with Black Widow, just like a very awkward date. I think that could have been a funny scene. And also, it would have been an opportunity to introduce some of his lesser known romantic interests. I think they could have introduced Black Cat. It would have been
Yeah, I'm all about Black Cat.
that would have been interesting. So these are some things I would have liked to see in the movie just to flesh out the universe a little bit, and I think it would have been good. It would have been entertaining.
Yeah, if you think about it, it's a missed opportunity. You have a clean slate, introduce those people
Yeah,
because the other characters kind of took a back seat for a lot of the film. I like it, Mike. I like where your head's at.
you got anything for What If?
Not this week. I think it's hard to top what you had.
All right, then that means it is time for the verdict, the segment where we finally tell you what we think about this movie and give it a review. Um, should I go first or you want to go first, Sid?
Do you have a surprise for me? Where
I
you
don't have
like,
a surprise. It might be a
nice.
surprise, but it's not going to be a bad surprise.
You can go for it, even though you just talked, or do you prefer I
Okay,
go?
so just to
Yeah.
reiterate what I said in the Love to See It, this is a Spider-Man movie, and I think it's the best live-action Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 2, the Sam Raimi one. Maybe, I mean, No Way Home was very good too, but it's a great movie. It just feels authentically Spider-Man. I mean, New York City, even though it's actually filmed in Glasgow, I was reading about that today.
Yes.
New York City feels like a character in this movie. And we didn't talk much about Jean Grey, but I thought she was a good villain, very creative, how she's hopping from people's mind, one mind to another. I liked that. And I liked the use of her to control other villains like Scorpion,
Hmm.
make the Hulk a villain. These are
Yes.
spoilers, I apologize, but um, it's just cool action scenes that those lead to. And yeah, I liked to see Peter's growth. He's got a good story arc in this movie. I mean, when I think of what do I want from a superhero movie, it's this, and I don't really know what more I want. And we've given a number of like 4.5 star reviews since we've our channel has come back in the movie review format, and I'm just thinking. I think this is better than that. And, I'm going to give it 5 stars. Truly love to see it. 5 stars doesn't mean perfect, but it means excellent. And I think this is an excellent Spider-Man movie. I truly love to see it.
You truly love to see it. The scenes, the hopping scenes were probably really fun to act, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
some people say this is like a direct sequel to the movie Hoppers. It was really inspired by
Oh, I didn't
Hoppers.
even think of that. That's good.
Yeah, so for me, Mike, this movie is you truly love to see it. Spider-Man Brand New Day reminds us why Peter Parker and why Spider-Man is one of the greatest superheroes in ever created, right? And
Yeah.
this film, like you said, instead of relying on like the multiverse, relying on like all this fan service, it just got back to what we love about Spider-Man. Like you said, it was what they say. It was like the street level. It was like a
Street
street.
level crime.
Yes, and yep, it was street level crime, which is great. This is what we've been wanting to see, so we finally got to see it. It was a grounded film. I think, as I've talked about throughout this throughout this review, that this is Tom Holland at his best. It's his best performance as both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. And the film perfectly captures how years of loss have impacted this character, this actor, this character. And the action was exciting, really good set pieces throughout this film, especially like we talked about, like the hopping led to really creative set pieces. The emotional moments hit hard, which I've talked about. I just, honestly, at the end of the day, Mike, I just felt completely invested in this film, in this story. I thought they executed this brilliantly. I thought the director was great. I'm not too familiar with him, but because he's a different director than the first three films, right?
Right.
So this is
Yeah.
a new guy. I know they changed the story from what I've heard with this film, like it was supposed to be something different. I think they wanted to originally do who's the character? Mr. Negative? So that was
I had heard rumors that Mr. Negative was going to be the villain, but
yes,
those might have just been unsubstantiated rumors.
correct. But yeah, so the rumors that it's gonna be about him, and I was hoping it wouldn't be because yes, it would be really cool, and I want to see him in a big screen because I don't think we saw him in the other two films
No.
or the other two franchises.
No, I don't think so. I don't think he's even been in the Into the Spider-Verse movies.
Yeah, I think you might be right. So if you haven't seen live action or like I said, whatever those other movies are considered CGI or whatever they are, not
Yeah,
CGI,
animated.
animated. But I saw him in the video games.
Yeah.
So he's really prevalent in the video games. So I didn't want to see him right away. So I'm glad they didn't go into his role yet. But at the end of the day, this isn't just one of my favorite MCU films. I think I think it might be my favorite, to be quite honest.
It's
I'm
up
gonna
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely up there. I'm gonna see it again tonight, just
Nice.
to see like the Easter eggs and things I missed, like you said, Mara Fisk. So I'll keep an eye out on that. But yeah, you truly love to see it. 4.5 stars. I'm glad you and I got to discuss this film.
Cool. And yeah, just to add on, the special effects are excellent in this
Yes,
movie. Uh, obviously there's a lot of CGI in these kind of movies, but it's really well done. Nothing is makes you scratch your head and think that it looks fake or anything like that. I like the camera work
Mm,
with Spider-Man swinging around. They
yep,
they always do a good job, but but in particular, they did a good job with that in this movie. Kind of makes you feel like you are Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. And I
So
don't want to go. Sorry to interrupt you, Mike. I know we're running out of time, and I know I'll make this quick, or you make it quick. So, do you think his friends now are remembering now, like the past events that were like wiped out?
ooh,
So, after,
I don't know about that. I don't think so. No, I think they're just accepting the fact that he's telling the truth. But I don't know. I
so
guess we'll find out.
yeah, I guess we'll find out. I think what some people are speculating is Jean Grey apparently has the ability to unlock people's memories.
Mm.
So they're thinking potentially like towards the end of the film, like she's already working on it. So it'll be interesting to see if that's how they bring it all back together.
I mean, we could just go back to Doctor Strange, right?
Yeah, they could also do that, but he
He
already
might be
had.
pissed off about that though.
Yeah, he might be. But yeah, I'm curious to see where it goes next. All right, Mike, what's next week?
I think it's Super Troopers 3.
Oh yes, a comedy. We haven't done many comedies, so I'm looking forward to see if it is pretty funny or not.
I've never seen any of them, so I'm
They were just they were
going in
just at,
blind.
you're going blind. They were just at SummerSlam.
Oh, promoting the movie, I guess.
Yes, yep, promoting. So
Cool.
let's see how it goes. All right, that was a
All right.
fun conversation as always, Mike.
Yep, fun conversation. Looking forward to next week as well. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
And I'll
Bye.
send you these earplugs.
Looking forward to it.
All right.